But don't look in your rearview mirror, here comes number 8. He's a rocker and a roller, and he shows us how to shut him down. I guess he runs independent until my dad is back in town. Yeah, I guess he runs independent until my dad is back in town. Bad boy, stand on it, son.
And welcome to the Nasboys podcast. Now, did you know that the last time the Cup Series ran at Road America was August 12th, 1956? That was so long ago that I Love Lucy was the most popular TV show. Elvis Presley's Hound Dog was on the top of the charts, and President Dwight Eisenhower was on his way to re-election. Lee Petty had also stopped his car in the middle of the track, ran up to the flag stand, and waved the red flag himself because of all the dust that was coming up in the air. So anyways, guys, welcome to the Nasboys podcast. I'm your host, Mike, a.k.a. Mike Bob Fan 101, with my good friends and co-hosts, Christian, a.k.a. Savage NASCAR.
What's up, y'all?
And Cam, a.k.a. I Spy Cam.
Howdy, y'all.
So let's talk about this weekend's races over in Pocono. Very solid weekend for once at Pocono. So we're going to talk about, first off, the truck race. What did you guys think?
This weekend, you said it best. It was a great weekend for NASCAR at Pocono, and over the years there's been pretty boring races there, and I'm sure a lot of us were just like hoping that there would be some good races, and we saw that. The truck race was pretty decent. It was mainly like fuel mileage, but it was pretty decent. I don't know why my mind just went blank, but I just, for some reason, if I'm correct, John Hunter Nemechek won, but I may be wrong. I didn't watch the truck race, all of it, but yeah, he did. All right, cool. That's what I thought. But I picked, if I'm correct, I don't remember. I don't know why my mind's going blank. But anyways, he ended up finishing 16th, the guy that I picked.
You picked Tanner Gray.
Yeah, Tanner Gray. Well, yeah, that was a bad choice. I know y'all picked Kyle Busch to win. He ended up finishing, I'm going to say second or third. So the truck race is pretty decent. It wasn't like great. It wasn't like as good as the Xfinity and Cup races. But that's just my thoughts on it. What about you, Cam?
Same what Savage said about the whole. It was good, but it wasn't as good as the Xfinity and Cup race. I mean, really, at first when I just saw the truck race only, I was like, man, easily like a 7, maybe even 8 out of 10, right? But then I saw Xfinity, and I was like, well, that goes down a little bit. Those are way better. Makes you change my mind a little bit. So I'd give it like a 6.5 out of 10. Now that's in my standards, though. That's a good race. Okay, don't take that as in bad. That's a good race in my standards. I forget who had the meme, but it was like NASCAR fans. It was like showing like a whining emoji, but then after the race, happy. Like always like hating on it. Which I'm gonna say now, I was wrong. I was hating on Pocono, and it really did prove me wrong. It was really good races, some really good races. So, congrats to John Hunter Nemechek. I really did enjoy it. There was some hard racing to it too. That's what I liked about it, and I like that it was more of like a strategic race. I like strategy games. I like strategy things. So seeing how strategic these, races were coming to was pretty cool. What about you, Mike?
Well, I did not watch the race. I saw like one clip of it, and it was like kind of hard racing. So that was nice to see. But yeah, so I don't really have an opinion on it because I did not watch it. So I will get into you guys' opinions, actually. So one of you said great. 3 of you said good. 2 of you said man/okay, and none of you said bad. Ben Danush _ says JHN1. And Spuddo.shady, a former member of this podcast, says, I was there. Cool.
Yep.
Just makes every race 10 times better if you're there.
So I know Spud was there, and Ryan, who used to be in the podcast as well, he was there for the Cup race. I don't know if he was there for the truck race, but yeah, there's a lot of people I know that were there.
Yep. And the driver of the day is John Hunter Nemechek, which I guess I agree with.
I agree with.
All right. And also shout out to Sean White 992 for picking John Hunter Nemechek technically. So now let's go into the Xfinity race. I actually watched this race. So what do you guys think of it?
I watched this race as well, and usually, if I'm correct, they raced there last year as well, and it was a much better race than last year's. Saw a lot of passing. We saw a lot of like close calls and all that. They did have one really bad crash with Justin Haley, and Ryan Vargas was involved in that. Mike, if you want to, you could roll the clip right now of that.
Oh, stand there in the fence. Oh, there's a big crash here. Hard contact
to the inside.
back in front of the cars. Oh,
And hit again. Haley with a hard hit on the inside wall and then right back out in front of traffic. And another car tagged him.
Ryan Vargas, I believe. Oh, man, it's good to see that. Those are some really, really hard shots that Justin took to the inside wall. You can see.
What looks to be two cars involved over this incident that began when two cars got pitched into the wall. Justin Haley got one other car at rest.
He's laying on the ground beside us.
AMR safety team right there to attend to Haley.
Probably laid down all the racetrack safety personnel.
So that was a hard hit. And, Ryan Vargas, if I'm correct, there was someone that was a part of the team that was like on the hood of his car that ended up passing away like that week or something like that. I don't know all the details to that, but I know that
It was actually like, I hate to cut in front of you, Savage, just to give a little bit of an explanation. It was actually the last paint scheme that guy worked on with, and like the last car that they worked on with. So then they just added his face to it, and that's it.
Yeah, you're correct, Cam. I appreciate you saying that because for some reason I forgot about that. And yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate for Vargas. He's had a bad season, and he's I know there's possibility of him losing sponsors. So it was very unfortunate to see. Justin Allgaier had a good race. Daniel Hamrick was up front a good bit, but Austin Cindric clearly was the class of the field. He did battle with times with Ty Gibbs. And, Allgaier had to pit late. Other guys had to pit late. And it just came down to fuel strategy, if I could speak. And Austin Cindric ended up winning in the pink and white 22 car. Of course, there's memes about him, standing outside of his car when he got out. People were just making sus jokes about that. But, overall, I thought it was a good race. What about you?
I definitely thought he had that soccer mom stance going on for sure. But I love Austin. Don't take that defense. I love Austin Cindric. None of his fans attack me for it. I like him. I thought this was a good race. I mean, really, like I said, I love strategy races in general. Like stuff like happens like that, I love. Congrats to Austin Cindric for the win. His team pulling up clutch like that, because I'm sure fuel mileage is hard to deal with. You know what I mean? Like you're also under a lot of pressure with racing while also trying to save fuel, and it's really and how you run it out. So it was really cool to see that. I feel bad for Ryan Vargas, man. It's tough to see him and what's happening. A lot of these guys. I mean, really a big issue that's going on that I've seen in NASCAR lately is just people with no sponsorships. It's an issue. And it sucks. There's definitely something going on with that. And I don't know what people can do about it, but I just feel like there's maybe a way we can solve it. I don't know. I just feel like it happens a little too often. You know what I mean? And there's even some good drivers that are having sponsorship issues that I feel like it's undeserved. And, so I really am upset about that. I still think that Pocono is dangerous with the way some of the crashes are. And that wreck was a great example. But besides that, it was a good race. If I had to rate it, I'd probably give it at least a solid 8 out of 10. What about you, Mike?
Yeah, I thought it was a very good race. We saw the Toyotas being really dominant as well. Allgaier having yet another great race, which I was very happy for. But yeah, I thought it was a great race. I felt really bad for Vargas, like what you guys were saying, and also Justin Haley. I thought he was hurt, but luckily he got out of the car
Oh
okay.
yeah.
But Vargas, I mean that sucks for him. Like I'm not the biggest fan of Vargas because one, I don't know anything about him, and two, I think his TikToks are kind of cringe because I just don't like TikTok. And but yeah, nevertheless, I felt bad for him a lot. You could tell that car really meant a lot to him, and I really wish that he would have finished it. But it's racing; that stuff happens. Hopefully next race at Road America, he can come back and get a good finish for his car chief there. So I guess congratulations to Cindric. Not the biggest fan of him either, but yeah.
I was gonna say that we'll see who's laughing, like when he does get a win. You got Addison Ray over there dancing on him. Okay, just saying.
Goodness.
You don't know Addison Ray's a TikTok
It's
person.
better than
She's very big.
It's better than Bryce Hall, who got basically knocked out by Austin McBroom.
Oh boy.
All right.
Yeah. Let's take a look at what you guys had to say about the Xfinity race. 3 of you said great. 6 of you said good. 1 of you said meh/okay, and 1 of you said bad. None of you gave any thoughts. None of you gave a driver of the day either. Come on, guys.
Come on, y'all gotta come on.
I mean, there's a couple different drivers. I'm gonna go with Daniel Hemrick. He had a pretty solid run all day. I thought Burton was gonna win it first, and then he spun out. So yeah, I'll go with Daniel Hemrick. I feel so bad for that guy, man. He needs to get a win. His crew just keeps screwing him over.
I'm stuck in between the middle of Hemrick and Allgaier. They both had really good races. I mean, I'm gonna go to Hemrick, man. I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
He just, like Mike said, he just deserves a lot more than what he gets. A little bit, and I think he just gets the short end of the stick a lot of times. And it's just, I don't know if it's just his luck or what it is, but I hope he gets out of this little sour patch of what he's going through. So, what about you, Savage? Who's your driver of the day?
Driver of the day for Saturday, I would probably have to go with either Cindric or Justin Allgaier for the Xfinity race.
Good pick.
All right, and also shout out to Ben Danush _ for picking Cindric. I actually just gave him a shout out the night we're recording this because I was not thinking to give him a shout out. So I'm very sorry, Ben. At least you get a shout out on the video and while we're recording. So now let's talk about the Cup weekend. Wow, that was a great weekend. Like for once, we get a great race at Pocono. Like every track that's produced good racing besides like Talladega has been boring, and then Pocono, which is known for being trash, produces this great fuel mileage racing. What do you guys think about it?
As I said before, man, it surprised a lot of people, and I was very entertained. And 2015, 2020 Pocono, it wasn't it, man. It was not fun to watch, but this year it definitely was, and there was a lot of crazy moments. I feel like the Saturday race was better than the Sunday race. Saturday race, the Busch brothers won the first 2 stages, so they led a good bit of laps. And at first I was thinking maybe Kyle Larson will win. I'm saying will win yet again. And then all of a sudden, he ended up like in the lead late. And I'm like, oh man, it's happening again. Front stretch, if I'm correct, was probably the first caution. But other than that, there wasn't like many cautions, but there was like a lot of great racing, and it was very cool to see. Now, of course, the main topic of Saturday's race was the final lap. And
good run by half miles in front of Kyle Larson, and what a historic day it will be for him.
They've all come differently. He's dominated some road courses, high horsepower, low horsepower, different style racetrack. This racetrack, unlike any other, and he had to go get the lead back in the closing laps.
Kyle Larson trying to join the legends of NASCAR. Only 8 before him have ever won 4.
Oh, he's got a flat tire. The left front tire's flat.
It's down. He's going to go into the wall. Kyle Larson in the wall. The 48 of Bowman's going to get by him. A flat tire for Kyle Larson. And now Alex Bowman is going to win at Pocono.
He had it in the bag. It was a Lightning McQueen moment. He was way ahead, and all of a sudden, that tire just said psych, just flew out, and he hit the wall. And I was like, wow, I can't believe this is happening. I mean, I don't wish, a Hendrick Motorsports driver to crash because I like Hendrick Motorsports. But I was like, man, this is pretty crazy. And then all of a sudden, Alex Bowman, I honestly forgot Alex Bowman was second. I thought it was Kyle Busch. So I was like, oh no, Kyle Busch is going to win. And then Bowman, Bowman comes around the corner. I'm like, hey, at least Hendrick won again. I know not everyone likes that because Hendrick's been on a winning streak. But, it was pretty crazy. And that's something NASCAR needed at Pocono because we haven't had a crazy finish at Pocono in years. So, overall, a great success, I would say. What about you, Cam?
Something funny about the last lap, which I feel bad for Larson. But, it's funny is someone had that video of the tire, a picture of the tire, and then on the video it says, you're not that guy, pal. Trust me, you're not that guy.
Facts, man. There was so many memes from
I felt
that.
so bad. Oh, it
I
sucks.
made
like that's like I don't even know how you could describe that pain. I mean, that just sucks because he kind of just got ripped off. But I mean, hey, it's racing, it happens. Really good race, man. We've been needing this in Cup recently. Like lately, there's been a few good races that I've liked, but I'm just, I'm hoping that we're starting to build up this this good trend again of good racing because, man, we were missing out on it so far this year. It's coming in a little late, but you know what? It's all right. I'm taking it for what I get. I'm just happy that we got some good racing back. Like I said, I like strategic races. I love how they we're all battling it out a little bit. I was not really upset with anything. I mean, I felt bad for Larson. I don't like Larson all that much though, so I was kind of happy not to see him win. I'm not a hater though, guys. Don't think I'm one of those boomers on Facebook. All right, I'm not that. Anyways, besides that, it was a good race. If I had to rate it, I'd probably give it like an 8.5 out of 10. I'm pushing for a 9, but I'm not going to give it a 9. That's like God tier level.
Yeah, Saturday's race produced so many memes. I'm telling you, I was trying to get memes out, about the race, and there's people, like a lot of people posting about it. I mean, it was so crazy that I had a hard time accessing Facebook about it. The Facebook NASCAR groups I was in, and even Instagram, it was hard to get some stuff out because just so many people were talking about the race, and it's pretty cool when that happens. That happens occasionally. And it was such a huge moment for the sport. So really good success. And now, Mike, what about you?
Well, Saturday's race, that was the best race of the weekend, I would say. Well, in terms of Cup racing. I really liked it. I was thoroughly entertained for once at Pocono because Pocono, that was just one of those tracks that like I'd actually literally fall asleep in. So yeah, I thought that was a great race. We did see Kyle Larson basically dominating again. And my story on the final lap, I just sat there. I was just like, oh my God, he is going to win again. Please kill me. And then all of a sudden I hear Junior being like, oh, hey, he's got a flat tire. And I was sat up from my chair. I'm just like, oh my God, let's go. Let's go. Me and my mom
I could almost smell the boomers' rotting teeth from being happy when they were talking about Larson wrecking. Larson finally done it. He's finally got it away. This is the breath, like right in my face. I can just smell the rotten breath from here. I'm glad to see the haters mad. I'm not even a Larson fan, but it was great. It sucks though because they finally got what they wanted, which I didn't really want them to happen. It's like giving the spoiled little rich brat what they needed, like a little nice toy. Here, little Timmy, have this.
Oh my goodness.
You know what I mean? It was real annoying. I was not happy with it. But it's all right.
But yeah, I was just jumping up and down, and me and my mom were so happy because we were tired of seeing Larson win, and that was just the craziest like plot twist I've ever seen as a NASCAR fan. Honestly, like I've seen last lap passes. I've never seen that before. And I'll tell you guys why. I hate to sound like a know-it-all, but I'll tell you guys why that happened. That ending when he was trying to get to Bowman and he kept, like trying to get the draft on him, I feel like that's what ruined the tire. And that's Larson's biggest problem. He is one hell of a race car driver. Don't get me wrong. He's by far the best one right now in the series, but he gets so aggressive with his equipment and just uses it up so much that it ends up costing him. We've seen it happen at Atlanta. We saw it happen in another race this season. I think it might have been Kansas. I can't remember, but he just panics, I guess, for some reason and uses up his equipment or makes a dumb move and ends up costing himself a victory. So you can say he's kind of a choke artist there, but
I mean, and a great example of what Mike's saying is, like before this season, I mean, the other past seasons he was in, he would put himself in the wall a lot. He would go all the way to the outside and would just drive himself in that wall. I mean, he's a very aggressive guy, but sometimes he can be a little too aggressive and too just, and sometimes I think that he doesn't. And I'm not saying like he's like aggressive as in he's just gonna wreck everybody. He's more aggressive in his like he's just gonna destroy himself. You know what I mean?
Over his equipment and his team, yeah.
And I mean, really, and when you have a tire like that and you're going on in a turn, that really can get you bad. I mean, that really can get you hurt. So he's really got to be careful with what he does because you never know the next time, a tire goes out and now he's injured real good.
Exactly.
And, we never want to see someone injured, but it's almost like he's causing himself to get injured if he's not careful. So he's really got to learn how to use his equipment right again. And maybe that, it's his first season back. He's doing great, but maybe he's still trying to get comfortable with it. I mean, I'm sure it's probably is a little different from dirt, from what he was doing. So we'll see how it goes for him.
So yeah, here's what you guys have to say about the first Cup race. 6 of you said great, 2 of you said good, 1 of you said meh/okay, and none of you said bad. Let's see. So Josiah _ Calhoun, he is actually a part of the podcast, but he's not here tonight. He says, I just thought it was really boring. You couldn't pass, and it took the best car long enough to take the lead. Henry 24257 says, Larson lost it, and it was an incredible finish. And Spuddo.shady, this is not really a thought. This is just a quote. Spin turn 3, Ross Chastain. Okay. But yeah, my favorites actually were running really good that race, which made me really happy to see. My top 3 was like not in order, but they were like in the top 5. Ross ran well, Chase ran well, Harvick ran well. So yeah, I was glad to see my favorites doing really well. So here's what you guys had to say about the finish. Josiah says upset. Henry says Goodyear sucks, which I kind of agree with. And Spuddo says woo. And the driver of the day is a tie between Elliott and Larson. Even though he wrecked and used up his equipment, I guess I'll go Larson.
I gotta go Larson.
Be on there?
Huh?
Why would Chase Elliott be a driver of the day for Saturday?
Brandon, I don't know.
But okay. I would say that was savage, but I mean, I would say, to be honest with you, driver of the day would either have to be Kyle Larson or maybe Chastain. I know Chastain, I know it's just because he had a good finish, but at the same time, Larson, he led a good bit. I know Kyle Busch would probably be up there, and same thing with Kurt, but that's a tough choice for driver of the day because, I mean, Bowman, he did run good, but at the same time, like, he didn't lead a lot.
I guess if I had to give like a pick, like I said, I'd probably go with Larson. I mean, even though he wrecked and I think he kind of caused it himself, he still had an amazing performance. I mean, really, if that tire wouldn't have blown out, he would have been up there in victory lane. I mean, so yeah, that's what my guy of the day is. My driver of the day is.
So we'll be right back, and we're going to talk about the second Cup race right after the camera comes back on. See you later. All right, guys, we're back. So now let's get into the second Cup race of the weekend, the Sunday race. What did you guys think of it?
Man, Sunday's race, it was like pretty different because there's some guys that did well on Sunday that didn't do good on Saturday. For example, my pick, Matt Benedetto, he was absolutely bad on Saturday. I picked him to win Saturday. And he was terrible in that race. He was like 32nd, and in this race, he was 18th. And then Ross Chastain, who was good on Saturday, ended up finishing 26th on Sunday. So it was kind of odd with that. But, Sunday's race was pretty entertaining as well. There wasn't as many like incidents or accidents, but it was still a pretty good race. Bubba Wallace was up front for a good bit of the race. He ended up finishing in 5th. Kyle Larson was up there. Kyle Busch was up there. Kevin Harvick had a pretty solid race as well. And Ryan Blaney, a rare top 10, you know what I'm saying? So it was pretty good. My pick, Denny Hamlin, he was leading late, and I was like, man, I'm going to get a pick correct. And then all of a sudden, he runs out of gas, and Kyle Busch wins. So that was kind of disappointing. But, it was pretty entertaining. So, as I said before, nothing but W's this weekend for NASCAR at Pocono. What about you, Cam?
This race did not disappoint either. It's going to sound a little biased here. I don't really care. I was happy that I got to see some of my drivers that I like, that are like not my favorite, of course, or like some of my favorites, but some just drivers that I like being successful and actually, getting up there in front. That was pretty cool to see. I was happy for those guys that got in top 10. I was not disappointed with this race. Once again, another good race. I'm probably gonna give it the same rating as I did the truck series race, but I actually, you know what? I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. I think I might have given the same rating, but still, it was up in that level. I liked it. What about you, Mike?
Yeah, I really liked this race as well. I didn't like it as much as the first Cup race, but I really enjoyed watching the fuel strategy play out. We saw several drivers, like what you were saying, Christian. And another driver you forgot to mention was William Byron. I thought he was going to win the race too, and I was like, Hendrick's going to win again. Are you kidding me? But I was pulling for Byron because I didn't want Hamlin to win. And then when Byron ran out of fuel, I was like, dang it. And then I was like, Kyle Busch. All right, Kyle Busch isn't winning this. But no, Kyle Busch came back. And, how about KFB? I know a lot of people hate him. I know you don't like him that much, Christian. But that dude is such an awesome race car driver. I mean, he had transmission problems all day long. He had a problem where the shifter just stopped working. It just stayed in 4th the entire run, and he was so slow on restarts, but he would, gain back his momentum on the longer runs, and he really used that to his advantage. And I thought he was done for the day when, he was on pit road. I forgot my words there. I thought he was done for the day when the crewman had to climb in the car and try to replace the shifter, but no. He won the race, and he was the last person I expected to win the race, and I was really happy that he beat one of my least favorite drivers, Denny Hamlin. And also what you were saying, Christian, where, drivers who you had picked didn't have the best of days. As an avid fantasy player, which, by the way, go play in our fantasy NASCAR league. The link is in the description, and DM me on Instagram at MikeBobFan101 or at Nasboys_podcast. The links for that are also in the description. I thought that, I'm going to have a W today, but no. I ended up finishing 5th, but no one cares about my fantasy. So that sucked that, drivers I picked didn't have the best of weekends. And speaking of which, Tyler Reddick, you love to piss me off. Like I said, I picked Tyler Reddick. I needed to save drivers because for those of you who don't know, NASCAR Fantasy has limits for how many races you can use drivers, and each driver gets 10 usages. So I was saving my big guys like Joey Logano, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex. And I'm like, all right, I'll put Tyler Reddick in there. No, Tyler Reddick has a mediocre day on Saturday. Okay, I'll take Tyler Reddick out, put Joey Logano in. No, Tyler Reddick has a solid day, top 10, top 15 day. So I'm like, all right, screw you, Tyler Reddick. And screw you too, Christopher Bell. I picked you too, and you didn't do anything, and then you do something when I don't pick you. So screw you too, Christopher Bell.
Go off.
I will say this, though. because Mike didn't really necessarily bring it up, but he did bring up about them having to go inside the car and fix Kyle Busch's shifter. I will say this though, nothing can stop that man. Honestly, if you lit his car on fire and he was like, "Hey man, you got to run like 5 more laps around this," he would do it. He will do it. He's KFB, and I'm not the huge fan of Kyle, but man, he's a good racer, and I'll admit that any day. He's a good driver. I mean, that dude he's good. I can't, he's just a natural.
Right. I'm starting to like him a little more because, he's just so polarizing and entertaining. And, he backs up, like, he's very cocky and people don't like that. But he backs it up with, like, just winning.
Right,
like, how many drivers can win with a broken shifter that stays in fourth gear like that?
Right. He's like, I don't know. He's like the opposite of Cam Newton. All right, Cam Newton says cocky stuff, but can't back it up. Also, if you guys don't already have subscribed, we have a sports channel, all right, which maybe later on when football season comes around, we might just talk about Cam Newton because Cam Newton's full of wonders.
Yeah, link in bio if you want to see it. We've already uploaded episode 1. Go check that out. Go sub if you want to keep supporting the channel. So yeah.
Yep.
And now let's take a look at what you guys had to say about the second Cup race. 2 of you said great. 7 of you said good. 2 of you said meh/okay, and none of you said bad. Everybody basically said strategy, which I agree with. So
100%.
the driver of the day is a tie between Bubba Wallace and Kyle Busch. So Bubba, I can sort of see where people think he deserves driver of the day. He ran a good race, but I'm gonna just say it right now. That was just a good call by Wheels. Like Bubba had he had a solid run in the first stage. Second stage he did his usual Bubba thing, and then third stage, beginning of it, he did his usual Bubba thing, and then he went back because of Wheels. Wheels made a good call with fuel only. So I'll give him credit. He did get a top 5, but enjoy it while it lasts, I guess. Who knows how much longer it's gonna happen, but I could be talking out of my butt. So yeah. I might just go and say Kyle Busch because, like I said, who can win? Who else can really win with a shifter issue like that? So I'm gonna go Kyle Busch.
I'm gonna go Kyle Busch too. But I will say if Kyle Busch didn't have all the issues he had and yet still came back from it, Bubba definitely would have been my pick probably. But knowing that Kyle Busch went through all this stuff just to get where he got, I gotta give it to the man. I mean, like I said, this man is unstoppable. I don't know what I could do to get him to stop a race. I mean, like besides a wreck, like anything else, I think he could just get through. Shoot, he's even got past wrecks before. What about you, Savage?
I have to agree with y'all. Kyle Busch is the clear driver of the day in this race.
By the way, don't think I was hating on Bubba Wallace because I know there's probably going to be some people who are mad at me for saying like, Bubba Wallace, blah, blah, blah. I'm not trying to hate on him there. I was just pointing out that he did it because of Wheels. So give Wheels the credit that he deserves, not all the credit to the driver. Give it to Mike Wheeler for making that amazing call. That was a good call.
And also, we're not biased people here, guys. Like
I try not to be.
We're really not biased. I mean, you'll rarely ever find us biased, and that's that. Like, I may hold a grudge to Hamlin, but if he won a race and he did a good job, I'll admit it. I'll say how he did on the podcast. I would never do that.
Exactly. So now let's get into some news here. We're going to start off with Ryan Blaney. You mentioned him earlier, getting a top 10, rare. His crew chief, Todd Gordon, is retiring from the sport after the season. So what do you guys think of that?
Doesn't surprise me. I mean, he has been a good crew chief. He's been in NASCAR for a long time. And when I saw the news before I wasn't surprised at all. That's pretty much all I got to say.
I'm not shocked. I'm just, if anything, I'm more interested on, who's going to step up for Ryan Blaney and who's going to be the new crew chief, because, that's going to be interesting. And, I'd like to see how the connection is going to be between them, and see how it goes. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really the biggest Todd Gordon fan. I think he's more like a mid-tier crew chief.
100%.
But congratulations to him, on winning a championship with my boy Joey. He did have somewhat of a good career winning races, and um, enjoy your retirement. That's all I gotta say. Enjoy your retirement, and hopefully Blaney can start winning some more because Blaney's getting screwed over with calls too. So yeah, we'll jab at him there. But yeah. And now the big news coming out of Trackhouse today. Today's Wednesday, June the 30th. As we're recording this, Trackhouse has made their announcement that they have bought off Chip Ganassi Racing. Boys, what do you think of this?
Cam, could you go first? Sorry.
Yeah, sure. Honestly, really, really caught me by surprise. I mean, like, really, like, we have a little chat for us for like the guys that's in the Nasboys channel, and someone sent it there, and like it completely caught me off guard. I didn't even realize. I didn't even think about that, and like just totally surprised me. So I mean, I don't know. Like it really was just a shocker. I mean, I'm excited to see where it goes, but I had to say it. But Mike's prediction was kind of right, maybe.
Yeah.
About Kurt Busch going to Trackhouse. I'm a little mad now, a little salty because he made that prediction, or at least we talked about having that prediction with him. So
Cam, if you don't mind me interrupting here, I'm
Yeah,
sorry, but I said 23XI.
Oh, was it
but I'll
23XI?
get into Yeah, but
Couldn't remember.
I'll get it. I said Trackhouse was a possibility,
You did
but
say.
I think I majorly said
I know someone you said
23XI.
Kurt Busch and Trackhouse. I know for sure.
Well, I said something about that. I'll have to rewatch the episode where we were talking about that,
Yeah.
but I think I vaguely remember saying he could go to Trackhouse, but my main prediction was 23-11.
Yeah, but still, I mean, still really surprising. I guess I'd like to see what they do with it. I mean, man, yeah, Trackhouse is they're shocking me with what they just did there. Yeah, that really does shock me a little bit. Yeah. What do you think, Savage?
I was quite surprised and alarmed, to be honest with you. Today, I wasn't really, I was pretty busy, so I didn't really read much into this. But, I had people send it to me, had people like sharing it around and everything. I didn't think a Trackhouse would be, a possibility for Kurt. And, I don't know every detail about this thing, to be honest with y'all. I know if I'm correct, they're getting rid of some numbers, or are they adding numbers? One of them two. Like adding rides to Chip Ganassi, or I'm kind of confused about this. So
I'll explain it in just a second.
Yeah, like I don't completely understand all of this. I know it said something about Trackhouse was like purchasing something. So could you explain that, Mike?
Okay, so first off, my thoughts about the whole thing. I watched the announcement, and I'm so glad that I did. But I'm shocked. Like I'm literally shocked that Chip Ganassi just sold his team like that.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that it's a great move for Justin Marks. He's slowly becoming one of my favorite team owners right now because he's doing the best that he can for Suarez and Trackhouse as a whole. But yeah, I mean, Chip said basically that it was an offer that he couldn't refuse, and Chip Ganassi was not on the block to get sold. So just that's a stunner. I guess Pitbull helped out a ton with that.
And
But yeah,
I mean, he's making money, Rain. You know what I'm saying? Pitbull will be really good to that game. You know what I'm saying? He's good with them deals, and Thunder. I'm telling you, man. They were calling timber today, man. I did not expect that to happen. Like, I mean, geez, but I mean, yeah, seriously though, like, I didn't know that. Like, I'm glad you explained all that because I was kind of confused about it, and I mean, yeah, it's a shock because Chip Ganassi Racing, they've been in NASCAR for a good bit. And I didn't think that they would just sell, their team like that. And I know Marks has owned a couple of things. If I'm correct, he owns GoPro Motorplex, which is in Concord near me. Yeah. And when I was in college, one story idea we were trying to come up with was we were going to do a story about the karting place, which we were going to contact Marks, and then COVID happened, so all that went away. But anyways, I mean, huge surprise, man. Like it's something that caught everyone off guard.
Yeah, and like you hate to say this real quick. I'll just say this real quick though. Two things. One is that like it really just surprised me because I really didn't think Team Trackhouse had that much money. I mean, really, like they are pulling out with bank, man. I don't know what they got going on, but they must have bank or something because this was a shock. And I also kind of wonder how Bush feels. You know what I mean? Like really, like Kurt. I wonder how Kurt feels because I wonder how he like. I just wonder what's going through his mind when he heard that and what he saw that. Like what hit his head immediately. I just wonder because you got to think like maybe it would get me for like it's so shocking. I'm just flabbergasted still. Like I can't believe they did that. Anyways, Mike, now you can go. I'm sorry.
So if you guys don't mind me explaining like what exactly this deal entails, basically Trackhouse will get Chip Ganassi's shop, Chip Ganassi's crew, shop workers, all that, their chassis, Hendrick engines, and they will be fielding 2 cars, one of which will be driven by Daniel Suarez. And I'm a little confused at what exactly they mean by 2 cars. I don't know if they mean like it's literally going to be 2 cars or if there's just going to be 2 cars with the charter and then 1 car has to just qualify in every week. I don't know what exactly that means, but I just hope that, one of the drivers in CGR doesn't get screwed over because they're both very talented. And I feel like that if a driver is going to get like a literal second car, it's going to have to be Ross. I mean, he's just much younger than Kurt. And
poor Kurt,
he's
man.
perceiving that he's being more of a talented driver, but I hope that Kurt doesn't get screwed over, and I almost hope that he gets the 2311 ride. So just so we can see Kurt Busch at least one more time, or at least a few more times, because I really like Kurt Busch. He's my second favorite, and Ross is my 4th favorite. But yeah, I'm happy for Trackhouse. I'm happy for Suarez. Maybe this can elevate his career even more because he's been running really well recently. So yeah, hope it works for every party.
Mm-hmm.
So
yep.
Now, Christian, you have something that you would like to tell us a little bit about. Go ahead and talk about it with us.
So, we recently, oh my goodness. Okay, so for those that don't know, right, I make memes. That's one of my thing I do on my NASCAR account. And just give you a little backstory. I'm not going to try to make this too long, but I met Natalie Decker back in 2019. I met her at Daytona. So, I followed her, for a good bit. And I know that, there it's a big topic this year. The simps are absolutely like they're unstoppable. Like these simps just talk about her all the time in her comment sections, and going back, I mean, even go back to Danica Patrick. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get why there's certain things with marketing, right? And I know with Natalie Decker's situation, she's not getting much races. She's in Xfinity part-time, was in trucks last year. And, her birthday was, if I'm correct, it was Saturday. And she posted, she's posted revealing pictures on her feed, which, I don't completely agree with. And there's simps out there that will, say stuff in comment sections that she supposedly is disgusted by. But if she is, then why is she still posting this certain thing? So with Decker, she posts these, like, I guess, trying to get attention is basically what I'm trying to say. And, we've talked about this, Mike and Cam, y'all could both say this as well. We've talked about this subject, and it's crazy, man, because she's like, oh, I don't get why these people are saying this about me. I don't get why these people are looking at me like this. Well, you're basically opening that door when you post the certain content that she has. And, her birthday picture that she put on Instagram was of her in a bikini facing, like, she was on top of like a skyscraper or something. she was just looking out. And, you know, I hate to go into detail about this, but for those that don't know, I have to explain. She was revealing her butt in the picture, you know what I'm saying? Like in a bikini. So, of course, there's going to be guys, creepy 40-year-olds, and, you know, these young simps that are going to say stuff in the comment section. It's like, you're going to expect that. And, you know, it happened with Danica when she was in NASCAR. And, you know, with other motorsports events, you know, there's been some female drivers to help market and to help get attention. They're going to post stuff and, you know, have sponsors. Like, for example, Danica was with GoDaddy. So now, fast forward a little bit, I make a meme, right? I make a meme calling her out about this because it's facts. Like, I mean, Mike, I could give you the video and you could play it here, what I basically posted.
I am not an object. I have a voice and something to say. Do not assume that.
But it's crazy, man. Like, I just don't understand, like, why she's just completing this false narrative. Or it's either that or like she has a manager that like helps run her social media or whatever. But basically, you know what I'm saying? I was just speaking facts. And, you know, I've messaged her a couple times before, you know what I'm saying? She's seen my like story replies. It's not nothing big. Now hear me out. I will say this before I comment. You know, I feel like I had an opportunity to maybe ask her to be on the podcast and even mine. And, you know, I didn't tag her in my post because I knew that she would probably block me because of that. But, you know, she ended up blocking me. She saw it. People added her. And, you know, at first I was kind of mad because I was like, man, I lost the opportunity, you know, to be able to have her on a podcast and all that. But now that I look at it, I'm not like upset about it anymore. It's just, it shows that like she can't handle the truth and hate. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not hating on her, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's other people I know that have said stuff like, you know, in comments or like said the truth. And she can't handle that. I mean, like, for example, if you watch her Twitch, she has a Twitch channel or whatever, she blocks all the people out there say, oh, why are you driving like this? You know, why you're not running well? You're not doing well on the track right now. You shouldn't be Xfinity. If you say something like that, you're immediately going to get blocked. And, you know, with the way this society is and with social media nowadays, you know, you're going to get a lot of that. You're going to have haters out there. And, you know, I wish nothing but the best for her and everything like that. I don't want to see her like fail in her career or anything. I don't want to see anything bad happen, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know, what I did, you know, was just make a meme, you know what I'm saying? And it's just facts. So it took me by surprise, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying? It's no loss for me. So, I mean, what do y'all have to say?
And, you know, I was also going to add this to it too, is that, you know, if I was her boyfriend, I mean, like, what kind of guy just lets her girlfriend post anything she wants out there?
Facts. I mean,
because she's revealing, bro. I don't care what anybody says. She is revealing. And, you know, I want to say a word. It starts with a B to her, and that's what her boyfriend is, but I'm not going to. Oof. But y'all get it in mind because really, that's like, no, bro. That's like so dumb. And, you know, I just thought like, she's like, you know, she's like, it reminds me of, it's like Cardi B, which I don't like Cardi B. I hate Cardi B. But Cardi B does the same thing. She'll say, like, listen, she's literally gotten plastic surgery in areas. And then she'll get mad when guys stare. Which makes me so mad. Like, it doesn't make sense. You know, and I could go more into the situation. I could say a lot more, but I'm not going to. Mike, how about you?
Well, I just want to find it a little, like, silly because I saw the meme and, like, obviously I liked it. You know, Christian's my boy. I got to support Christian.
Yes, sir.
And I commented as a joke, have fun getting blocked, laughing emoji.
Yeah.
And then, like, 5 hours after I commented that, Christian sends me a DM like, dude, what the H? She blocked me. And I'm just like, bruh.
I mean, I did not think it was going to happen, and I jinxed myself. I literally went and told people she didn't block me. She didn't block me because I was expecting to get blocked by that. And then right after I said that, 30 minutes later, I got blocked. So I
Dude,
mean,
you were so pissed. I was like dying laughing. 'Cause,
I was
like, I was
mad
like,
at first
oh my
because
god,
I
I
I
remember.
never
called
thought
it.
I
I'm like,
wanted an
Yo,
opportunity to have someone on a podcast. So that's just my
a
thing.
little
I
behind the
mean,
scenes, guys, is that we actually went on a call to talk about.
yeah, okay, what's
It
the
was
topic?
listen. I'll explain. I'll explain. So we had we were doing a
no.
call for what we were going to talk about. Okay, and I'm not going to reveal what, but we had to talk about. It was about the podcast things, though, guys. And anyways, it started out with Savage, and it was so funny because I kept laughing. I kept laughing, and Savage kept getting mad.
I mean, it doesn't. I was mad at first because I thought that as I said before, it was an opportunity to have her, on a podcast, and I feel like that just. I mean, now looking back on it, I shouldn't have been mad, but at the same time, I should have not been surprised. And
Don't worry, guys.
I don't know what
Savage
to
is just
say
mad
about
because
it.
he
I
didn't
mean,
get toe pigs.
it's
Okay,
just fact. I mean, I
gonna
was just
say-
saying facts about this subject, and I know a lot of people feel the same way, and I know that not everyone will agree with me on this, and I understand that. But I mean, it just makes no sense when you be like if you're like posting these pictures, you know what I'm saying, and even her TikToks were so weird, like her TikToks too, and you know what I'm saying, and it's just cringe. And it's like no one asked for you to post that picture like of that for these creepy people online to say these things. And if so, at least turn off the comment section. And you're over here mad about it that these people are saying this. You're mad about this, like these people saying these things. You have to expect that on social media in this in this nowadays thing. You shouldn't be surprised by this. And it's unfortunate that, these people are saying these things. And I'm sure, like, if I was in her situation, I wouldn't like that. But do something about it. Don't keep encouraging it. And when you block people for saying, calling you out on it, it just doesn't make things better. So
Right.
that's my take.
I mean, yeah, I gotta agree with you there. Like, for example, like Joey Logano, he's one of the most hated drivers in the sport. Like, you don't see him replying to comments and blocking people. He just goes along his business.
Well-
he goes along and just races his car. That's one of the reasons why I really like him.
And I was gonna say this real quickly. It's really funny though because you can tell she's triggered because she's blocking everybody that says something about it, which just totally means she's wrong, and it's funny because I want to make a troll account and just say a bunch of stuff about her just so she can get mad. Because like honestly, if I don't get a reaction out of somebody that's good, why won't I? Like, oh, it's so funny. Oh, Savage, I'm so happy you went off on her today. This is great. This is good stuff.
That was very entertaining, actually. But yeah, I just want to say like one thing about the call, and then we'll shut up about this, and then go into paint scheme review. We were on the call, and I didn't know that you were trying to get her on like any podcast. Like, I know you do a podcast that like you're separate in, and then you do this podcast. I didn't know you were trying to get her on a podcast, so you were like ranting about her blocking you, and I was dying laughing. And then when you said like the podcast thing, I felt bad for you.
Okay, but to be honest though, Savage, you could have just waited after the podcast and then post a meme.
Okay, we're gonna.
You could have
You
could have finessed. You could have finessed.
Shut up.
Jeez, Mike.
But
right.
still, you could have finessed.
So
It
now,
is what it is.
yeah, it's whatever. We got some entertainment out of that. That was great. So now we haven't done this in a while because we had some other topics to talk about. Let's do paint scheme review a little bit. Why not? Let's kick it off a little bit with a scheme that took waves. The Kevin Harvick Gravedigger scheme. I was not expecting that. It looks really, really cool, and they got the paint so perfect. I'm gonna give Gravedigger a 10. This is hot. This is probably the best paint scheme of the year.
I seen this when they revealed it, and I have to agree with you, man. It's pretty fire. I did not expect a NASCAR car to have that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know they were like partnering in that way, I guess, as a company and all that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think that collab thing would happen. and it did. And it looks pretty cool. You know what races? By any chance, you know what race they're going to have that car in?
Nashville, they already had it.
Oh yeah, my bad. I can't believe I forgot about it. It was in Nashville. But yeah, man, 10 out of 10.
Fire, just fire. All right, 10 out of 10. Just I mean, like they even got like some of the car in the background, bro. Like that is so cool. Automatically 10 out of 10.
So next up, also from Kevin Harvick, is another fire scheme. His Bush space thing. His Bush paint scheme. This looks really, really cool. I like the kind of galaxy vibe that they were going for. The space features, whatever it is, I really like it. I'm going to give this one a 10. This is also very hot.
I honestly don't have a picture of this, so I'm going to try looking it up.
While he's looking it up, I'm just going to say mine on it. Looking at that scheme, reminds me of Star Wars for some reason. I don't know why, but it kind of does. And I know that sounds really weird to say, but it's just space theme, so that's like one of the first things that comes to my head. Really cool. I actually loved it a lot. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Not 10 out of 10 worthy to me.
I have to agree with those points. It is pretty cool though. I'm trying to give this a fair rating. I'm gonna have to give this a 8.5 out of 10. I mean, it's pretty cool though with like the different graphics on there and everything. But at the same time, I've lowered the rating on it because they raced it during day. If they had it at night, I feel like it would look better.
True. And then next up is Austin Cindric's Paratech throwback car. I don't know if we reviewed this one or not, but I'll review it again if we didn't. Wait, actually, we didn't do it. What am I saying? This one looks like the Talladega Nights car. I know that that's not what they were going for, and they were going for more of like a throwback look to, I can't remember what they were throwing it back to, but I know it's a throwback, but it just looks so much like the Talladega Nights car. So I'm going to give this one a 7.
Looking at this car, I don't know why, but for some reason it reminds me of like the old Hot Wheels cars, like the original cars that had like only like 4 colors on them. And it was like these weird colors. It was so like this. It's not bad. If I had to give it like a rating, I'd probably give it like a 7 out of 10. I like it.
And kicked me out. For some reason, I'm kicked out of the group chat. I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi. But it's decent. I'll probably give it like a 8, maybe, or 7.5.
All right. We're gonna be right back. We gotta stop the recording once again, but we'll be back with a couple more paint schemes. All right, guys, we're back. So we're gonna review 4 more paint schemes here. First off, we got the Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Ballpark. Yet another trash JTG scheme. Just to think when they were getting better, but no, this is pretty bad. I'm gonna give this one a 3.
What in the world is this? Okay, first off, I like that we have a graphic at least for them because that's something they don't usually do. The hot dog is part of it's in a tire, and then the front part of the car looks like Crest toothpaste. It makes no sense. I mean, I get it's the sponsor, the ballpark funds and all this, but I mean, what in the world is this scheme? It's kind of odd. I mean, it's just like part of it's red, just a little stripe of red. The rest of the car's toothpaste. I just don't like this at all. 2 out of 10.
All right. Looking at this is just awful. All right. First of all, just want to say this. It looks like the carton of a Hot Pocket. All right. Just saying that now. Coming in at number 2, we have, first of all, okay, it just really annoys me that they always have the Kroger logo on the hood. Like, it's always stayed that way. It's really, really annoying. And also, like, just to describe who Ricky Stenhouse is, they put a glizzy on the side. It makes sense, man. It just, honestly, I know you guys are going to hate it, but really, for the being there, a glizzy there, it just makes it so much better. I really could have gave this a harsh rating and it made it a lot worse. But, honestly, the Glizzy just actually really does just show who Stenhouse is as a person and how he drives, which is just complete garbage. So because of this, I give it like a 4 out of 10.
Okay, Cam. Next up, it's Kevin Harvick's. Hold on. No, it's Kevin Harvick. We got Kevin Harvick's Unibet car. I really like this car, actually. I like the green and the black. Looks really well together. The colors actually go well together. JTG. So, yeah, I'm going to give this one an 8. I like it.
It reminds me of Heineken for some reason, without like the red in the logo. It's on you would race for like a March race or St. Patrick's Day, but it's okay. It's not bad. It's just the front of the car is like almost all green, and then there's the white letters, and then the back of the car it has like some black in it, like on the trunk, and then like halfway through the side of it, and then green again. It's not bad, but it's not good. I'm giving this a 5.5.
You know what's funny though, guys, is like this is just my face. Like the color of that car was my face when I was looking at that Stenhouse car. All right, I'm just, I just want like perfectly together. This car is all right. I mean, it's kind of garbage too. It's not the worst though, but like they could have done better. And therefore I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. Really, it's okay.
And then next up is Kyle Larson's Valvoline scheme. This is an okay scheme. I like that they're trying something a little different with the red. It's a little basic for me, but it's one of Kyle Larson's better schemes. I'm going to give it a 6.
I've always enjoyed Valvoline, sponsored cars, and it's kind of odd to see Valvoline with like a car that's almost all red like that. It's not a bad scheme, but at the same time, it is kind of odd, and it's something you probably see at like a race like at Kansas or some like a mile and a half track or something like that. When I first saw it, I didn't particularly like it, but it's okay for me, so I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10.
See, now to me, this presents more of like a toothpaste, like the package,
Yeah.
the part of it. That's what it looks like toothpaste to me. And like, okay, I just want to say this too, a little quick rant about the Valvoline logo. I don't like it for one reason. I feel like you'd see that logo at like a gas station, right? Like, and it would be like for example, it would be like a name like Ameristop. And see, that would fit more with me. I don't. And plus, it just looks weird with the 5 car. They got a little tag on the side by the 5 on top. That's really annoying looking. I don't like it. It's okay, I guess. I mean, 6 out of 10. Could have done better.
And then next up, we got Corey LaJoie's Pryor and Lee car. People are calling this trash. Like, it's not the best paint scheme, but like, it's not as bad as some we've seen. I mean,
Yeah.
I like how the gray looks kind of slick. There's not really too much of a design. I'll give it a 4.
So I wanted, I would give it a bad rating, but at the same time, this is a small team, so I'm not going to it's kind of hard to choose what rating I'll give this. It's not a good scheme. It's not bad. It's just plain. It's pretty gray, you know what I'm saying, with white letters. I mean, it is a small team, as I mentioned earlier, so I'm not going to give it a bad rating, but I'm just going to give this probably like a 4.5 out of 10.
I hate to listen now, some may get offended by this, but since he's one of my favorite drivers, I'm able to say this. What car's playing when Joey Logano's forehead could fit on it. All right. This is one of them, man.
What? Cam!
This is trash.
You didn't blame Joey.
This is trash. Okay, fine. You screw it. Paid Manning's forehead could fit on this too. All right. It doesn't matter. I feel like a plane could listen. A plane could land on this. All right. This thing is awful. I'm looking at the rest of the track and I see, oh look, nice colorful cars. I look at this. I see 1950s. All right. This is back when times when these things were awful. All right. This is just awful. Pryor and Lee. I look at that on my grandma's TV for an ad. Who is this? I don't know this. Okay. This is just complete garbage. I don't like it. Throw it away. All right, it's like I feel like I wouldn't even find this at like a garbage can. All right, like
Oh, man.
you know, they had like a little die cast of this. I'd be like, oh, some bugs. I'm gonna just be honest about cars, man.
my
You gotta give me a
God.
good one. This one sucks.
Back again. No, that's it for the paint schemes tonight. We're gonna go into the top 10. That was awesome.
I don't even know if I'll be able to talk about the top 10 after hearing all that. But okay, so top 10 this week, guys. My list is the top 10 NASCAR moments at Road America. So starting off at number 10, I have to add a little bit of flair. So I have at number 10, Jacques Villeneuve dumping Danica Patrick on the last lap in 2012. Roll the clip.
Wow. Oh, he takes her out.
Oh, come on.
Unbelievable.
Into the gravel trap.
Unbelievable.
That's it.
Villeneuve.
Michael Annette also down there.
There you go. Keep it going.
She's going to get out of the gravel trap.
So in 2012, it would be this, if I'm correct, it's the third race that the Xfinity race or series had at Road America. And Nelson Piquet is pulling away. He'll come up later in the list. But Danica Patrick was going to have a top 5 finish. She was battling for third with Jacques Villeneuve, who's the son of Gilles Villeneuve. And Gilles Villeneuve is, you know, they had a track named after him. So Jacques just straight up dumped her going into, if I'm correct, turn 3. And she ended up finishing like 9th, and Max Pappas ended up passing her as well. So it was pretty dirty and disrespectful, in my opinion. So moving on, though, at number 9, I'm looking at my list real quick. Number 9, I have Brian Scott and Max Pappas's restart crash in 2011. Roll the clip.
2 laps to go if we don't see the caution in that time.
NASCAR's always said that they're going to finish these things with the green-white checker if they have to. So that's what we're getting here. We get one extra lap. Green flag.
Green, green, green.
Good start by McDowell. This is just what he needed.
Oh, that's Villeneuve, and that's going to be trouble. Pappas is off into the wall.
That was a bonehead move right there by Villeneuve.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Jacques. Good job.
And Brian Scott in the gravel trap.
Right through the grass. That was not a move of a veteran.
Max had a good race going.
I thought the 22 was going to do something stupid.
Looks like I'll have more than one attempt at green-white checker.
Yeah,
Away it goes.
You knew as aggressive as Villeneuve has been in these races, he was going to try something on that restart.
Well, that's one thing to be aggressive. It's another thing to go in there and do that. I mean, that's just not cool.
That's not the way you gain respect out of your peers, I can tell you that.
So in 2011, this was one of the most entertaining races I've seen in the Xfinity series. This wreck happened during a green-white checkered finish. If I'm correct, it was the first or second attempt of the green-white checkered finish. And Jacques Villeneuve, yet again, shows up on this list. He tries to go inside, making it 4-3 wide, and just takes out, he just takes out Max Pappas and Brian Scott. I mean, this guy is out here being like the, I don't know what to say. Like, he is like the Recce Stenhouse of road courses in the Xfinity series.
I hate to cut in front of you real quick, but why does Mike's leg look?
Moving on to number 8 was the inaugural Xfinity race at Road America, and it was Carl Edwards' win. So here's a clip of the final lap.
Yeah. The battery problem.
Probably voltage, yes.
There will not be a green-white checker today. Could have had my money on that.
Around, bud.
Carl Edwards to the white flag. Doc?
And it is a motor issue with the 32 car. It is internal in the engine. It is popping and missing and sputtering and getting worse. They're going to try to milk this thing for one more lap and finish. What a gallant effort today. A gallant effort for Jacques Villeneuve.
Boy, Doc, you got that right. This guy has been a great driver today. He's really been flying. Hate to see this happen to this team.
So Carl Edwards now with a gap back to Ron Fellows of almost 3 seconds on his white flag lap. If he gets it around to the finish line, he'll have led 35 of the 50 laps today. It had its moments, but he has been dominant, that's for sure. Up the hill, turn number 6 for the final time.
Did not practice on Friday over in Sears Point, qualifying the Cup car. He practiced a little test session they had on Thursday. He was the fastest car in that session.
He got on me the other day. I roughed him up a little bit for not testing in Kentucky. He said, hey, Rusty, I mean, come on. I'm trying to make...
Tony Ave going around.
Both Ave and Paul Menard spun.
But I told Carl, you tested here, and you qualified great. Looks like he's getting ready to win this race. Just proves that practice is good.
It does help.
Off the carousel corner, down to the kink. And then he'll head for Kettle Bottoms for the final time in Canada Corner. Carl Edwards, less than half a lap from victory lane. Ford, winless so far, 2010. Remember, they told us a couple of weeks ago at Nashville, Jack Roush came out and said on a Ford media conference call they had found some parts that weren't up to their specifications, had removed them, replaced them in their system, started running better that week at Nashville. A couple of second-place finishes for Carl, and now he's going to make it third week in a top 2 finish, and he's going to win this one.
Well, it sounds like Jack knows what he's talking about. His whole team has done a fantastic job for him.
Final time up the hill. The first name on the Winners' Trophy at Road America in the NASCAR Nationwide Series will be Carl Edwards. He dominates and wins the Bucyrus 200.
In the field all day long. Hell of a race car driver. One awesome race car driver. One more awesome race car. Great pit crew.
Had to do it the hard way. Had to come up through the field after making that caution flag pit stop.
Edwards winning by 4.3 seconds. Ron Fellows will finish second. Brendan Gaughan third. Brad Keselowski protects most of his point lead with a 4th place run. And Owen Kelly will round out the top 5.
Hell of a car. Great job.
So in 2010, Carl Edwards started on the pole in this race, and he pretty much dominated most of it. He led 35 of 50 laps. He ended up winning the race. He was ahead of Ron Fellows and Brendan Gaughan at the end. And there'll be another entry into this top 10 that dealt with this race. So I'll get to that at the moment that it will be on the list. So moving on. Number 7, though, is not Xfinity Series. It's ARCA. And this was the finish. It was a 1-lap shootout to the finish. Roll the clip.
Tail.
I say final restart. It may not be the final restart as we get set to go green.
And Cindric on the gas. Oh, look at him there by the wall. I just saw the nose of that Cunningham car stick out. I think that was Sargent right down there by the wall who got a huge jump. Cindric with a great start here.
Cole Custer right behind him is now. He'll take a look to the inside. Turn 1, they touch.
He blows smoke off the front tires and blows turn number 1, takes Austin Cindric with him. Austin is going to be livid, and Cole Custer with a huge mistake gets back on the track.
Yeah, Custer does get back on the racetrack very quickly, though he does fall to the tail of the field. Meanwhile, Cindric still trying to get that 99 turned around and get back on course.
Yeah, I think that's the only person that Cole did get around. And take a look at this. Are you kidding me? The 77 car of Dalton Sargent is leading this race from, I believe he restarted in 14th place and then blows turn 5.
Sargent off the race course, tiffed, nowhere to go in the 28, so 1-2 gets taken out. 1-2 gets taken out again, and now it looks like Austin Theriault is our leader on course.
Henriksen also got into tiff, so tore his car up back there, and you've got to be kidding me. How does the 52 car, has not been in the top 5 all day long, end up leading on the last lap? Sometimes it's just a magical season for you. One thing I can promise you is he won't make any mistakes.
Riley Herbst to second. Now Dalton Sargent, who fell back to third there, able to get back on the race course in third, finds himself right behind Riley Herbst. He's got P.J. Jones behind him running fourth.
And you can see that left rear fender for Dalton Sargent sticking way out there like a parachute. It's going to be very difficult here in this high-speed section to really make up some ground. Riley Herbst right there in front of him. Look at that hood start to shake as he gets up in that low-pressure area off the spoiler, and there's a move right there. Beautiful job out of Dalton Sargent. Just those 2 good tires on there, but no, he blows the brake zone again.
And this could allow P.J. Jones to get by, and it looks like Jones will be able to get by the 77 or not. They go side by side for the third spot.
Sargent fighting hard, all the while the 52 car, owned by Kenny Schrader, driven by Austin Theriault through the final turn with a huge gap, is going to come up here and grab yet another win. An amazing effort here for the 52 car. Austin Theriault's 4th win on the season, and stretches the points out after a crazy last lap shootout.
I couldn't find much info on this particular one other than Austin Theriault ended up winning. I know that Cole Custer, y'all saw in the video, he ended up spinning out into turn 1. It was pretty wild. And Austin Theriault, if I'm correct, it looked like he was unsponsored in the 52 car. But yeah, I feel like that deserved the number 7 spot. So moving on to number 6, we got the 2016 Road America race, and it was Michael McDowell's first and only Xfinity Series win, if I can speak English. Roll the clip.
Through the final corner, coming to 1 to go.
Brendan Gaughan doing everything that he can to get there and see if he can make a move on this final lap.
This is the Credit One Bank, 1 to go. McDowell now several car lengths over Brendan Gaughan. Suarez now getting heat from Brennan Poole. Who knew?
Brennan Poole with those fresher tires also. He's made the most of those. He was sitting outside the top 10 2 restarts ago. Done a great job to get himself up to the 4th spot.
Little contact back here. Ryan Reed going for more. Marks getting contact from Kelly. They're off in the sand trap. Can they keep it rolling? Coming to the checkers, though.
Yeah, I think even with him stuck there, that NASCAR will allow this. That's a long way away from the start-finish line. NASCAR's going to let this play out if they can. Brendan Gaughan right there once again.
Closing in on Michael McDowell down in turn 5. Good exit for both. Up the hill, hard lander. Hard left-hander in 6.
Dowell's going to have to be perfect right here. You don't want to give Brendan Gaughan the opportunity to get to your rear bumper or quarter panel in this situation.
Don't let him think he has a shot, but Brendan thinks he does. Looks to the inside. McDowell shuts the door. Remember, everyone's a little tight on fuel as well. With the pickups in the fuel cell, pick up everything.
Brendan Gaughan needs to hang with him if he can. Michael McDowell doing a great job through the carousel right here, getting off that corner.
A lot of speed through there. Nice exit. Both very brave through the kink. Using the runoff on the exit. And down to Canada corner one final time.
Another high braking area here. See if Brendan Gaughan, this is where he lost some time last time. Michael McDowell really smooth through this part.
Both just on the edge of adhesion there. You hear the tires chirping. Getting all they can. 2 corners left for McDowell. That is 14 there. Will McDowell hit it well? He does. He's not going to get him. Michael McDowell, a bridesmaid so many times, will be the winner today at Road America. Lots of action behind them as they race to the checkers, try to get all they can. Scott Heckert around in the 15.
So in 2016, if I'm correct, it was the 6th NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Road America. And Michael McDowell, he led 24 of the 48 laps. He ended up hauling off Brendan Gaughan for the win, and it was his only Xfinity Series win. So that's all the info I have on that. But moving on to number 5, it was Nelson Piquet Jr. For those that don't know, Nelson Piquet Jr. actually did race in the Xfinity Series and Truck Series for a couple of years. And he ended up getting his only Xfinity Series win in 2012. So roll the clip.
Now remember, this is 4th place on back. Front 3 ahead of them are coming to the white flag. There'll be no green-white checker this year. Final lap is underway at Road America.
Easy.
Nelson Piquet Jr.
One thing he has to worry about right now is if he has enough fuel, all he has to do is just maintain this gap.
Don't wheel hop it.
Got plenty of lead. He's got almost 3.5 seconds.
Danica
there goes Patrick.
Patrick is through Pappas. Max isn't done there yet, it doesn't look like. Hey, he might have forced a mistake there. Danica's offline. Pappas and Villeneuve coming back. While we watch Piquet Jr. through the tricky turn number 5.
Oh boy, I smell disaster here.
Look out!
Wow.
Oh, he takes her out.
Come on.
Unbelievable.
Into the gravel trap.
Unbelievable.
That's it.
Villeneuve.
Michael Annette also down there.
There you go. Keep it going.
She's going to get out of the gravel trap.
Last bit of the race. Villeneuve sails down in there.
22 just booted us out of the way there. 5 Tony.
All right. Well, here's Nelson Piquet Jr. winding his way down toward the backside of the course. Through that tricky kink and headed down for the final time toward Canada Corner.
Alec, you could just tell something was going to happen in turn 5. They got so tight. But what about this guy right here, Nelson Piquet Jr.?
Ron Fellows not going to be able to do anything with McDowell for second right there, although he took a look. Third start in a NASCAR Nationwide Series car for Nelson Piquet Jr., the son of the former Formula One champion, making a transition from his own Formula One career to NASCAR racing. Comes over from NASCAR's Camping World Truck Series and is going to be the first one to the checkered flag at Road America. Nelson Piquet Jr. wins in Wisconsin. Second place.
And yeah, it was a pretty big pileup, so I felt like that deserved the number 4 spot. But moving on to number 3, we got Brendan Gaughan's emotional win in a thriller in 2014. Roll the clip.
We are in the final lap at Road America. 4 miles around, 14 turns. What happens? Here's Chase Elliott inside of Brendan Gaughan looking toward turn 1.
Brendan sailed it off in there that time.
He made it stick. A little bit of tire smoke now. See that fender starting to rub that tire. The faster that they start running, the more pressure they're putting on it.
You can't count this 23 out of this yet either.
Nope. That's Kevin O'Connell, a Californian. The name on the side of his car says Shania. They're racing with Shania Twain's charity on the side of that 23 car.
Contact.
Clear. That's it.
Going to cost Chase Elliott a little bit of time in position there.
There's been a crash behind these leaders in turn number 3. We stay under green. New second place car. That's Jeffrey Earnhardt and Ryan Sieg, it looks like there. So O'Connell is up to second now behind Brendan Gaughan. Don't think he hasn't watched these NASCAR races on TV and knows that the bumper is fair game.
You're pulling away.
He knows exactly what that's for. He is right there too.
J.J. Yaley's all over the back bumper of Chase Elliott too.
And look just behind him.
Alex Tagliani is all the way up to 4th place and charging. Watch him go after Chase Elliott here. Oh yeah.
Not even a contest.
Outside, clear.
Knock him out of the way.
Just a couple of corners left. Brendan Gaughan got a little gap. Does he have enough?
Keep digging, you got him.
Final corner. Tagliani on the charge. Going to be a drag race up the hill to the checkered flag.
22 back there. You need to dig hard all the way to the line.
Checkered flag is out. It's here. Brendan Gaughan has won a NASCAR Nationwide Series race.
So this race weekend in 2014, it was pretty rainy throughout the first part of the race. And, there was a lot of guys flying off the course and everything. Brendan Gaughan started out spurting in the back. He wasn't always up front in this race, and he ended up, as the race went along, the track ended up drying out. He was able to move up to the front. And if I'm correct, Alex Tagliani, he dominated that race. He was leading most of the race in the 22 car. He ended up running out of fuel under caution during the green-white checkered, so he had to start all the way to the back. So Alex Tagliani started on the restart 21st. And if I'm correct, Brendan Gaughan was up there, of course, and all of a sudden, final lap, Alex Tagliani's just flying through the field. He goes from 21st to second, but he couldn't quite get to Brendan Gaughan, and Brendan Gaughan ended up getting the win. If I'm correct, it was Brendan's 4th Xfinity win, but I may be wrong, and it was the first one he had in a couple of years. So I feel like that deserved that spot because it was pretty cool. So moving on to number 2, though, what was cooler than that finish was the one in 2017 where Jeremy Clemens got his first career win, even though he spun out with 2 to go. Roll the clip.
We thought Tift had lost it. He does not. A good corner for the 19. The 51 just behind. Coming to the final corner of the track. Great run for Clemens. Does he do it here? Takes a look. And diving down to the inside, Jeremy Clemens now contact with Matt Tift. They both spin. How far back is Michael Annett? Michael Annett was running 3rd. Tift and Clemens come together, coming to the white flag.
I think Clemens is still going to have the lead.
He's got it righted. Jeremy Clemens comes to 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. And there is Michael Annett. He was not close enough. He was about 10 seconds back in the 5 car, and he couldn't get there.
Does Clemens have any damage to his tires, though? Has he got off track?
Stephen Young with trouble. He'll get the 78 turned around. This is coming down to turn 5.
Clemens has a huge lead, probably 20, 25 car lengths at least right now.
We began the day saying only a miracle would get certain drivers into the playoffs. Jeremy Clemens was one of them. He's got the miracle in sight now. Can he keep it together? Mayhem in front of him. Other drivers, looks like tires coming apart. Got to be on your mind as you're trying to win.
I don't know what I was going through his mind. He's never won one of these races. He's on a road course. This isn't what he grew up doing or has that much experience at.
Jeremy Clements' best finish was on a super speedway where you have the advantage of the draft at Talladega to work your way through the pack. Here at Road America, it was one man, one machine, and a great strategy call for fresher tires at the end that put Jeremy Clements to the front.
Yeah, right now he just has to hold everything together. Don't push the issue right now. You've got everything right in front of you. You've only got about 5 more corners that you have to make.
Heading out of the carousel. Clements down toward the kink. He's got to get this one right.
Yeah, I'm sure they've told him he's got a nice lead. Don't push the issue.
Nice and smooth through the kink. Now lap traffic ahead. Coming down to the Canada corner and turn 12. Good smooth right-hander for Clements. Keeps the 51 looking solid. Next car back, Tift, is not within sight. It's just up to Clements now to take it home with lap traffic, his only barrier between himself and his first victory in the Xfinity Series. Through the final corner, Jeremy Clements has made it. Just a couple of lap cars in front, but the 32-year-old from Spartanburg, South Carolina, has found his way into the playoffs by winning at Road America.
In 2017, it came down to fuel mileage again, and Matt Tift was looking for his first career win, and so was Jeremy Clemens. And as they were coming to the final lap, as 2 laps go, they went a little too hard into that corner. They ended up spinning out. Matt Tift couldn't get going fast enough. Jeremy Clemens still ended up winning, though, because those 2 cars were way ahead of everyone else. And, yeah, Michael Annett actually ended up finishing second in that race. Justin Marks, we mentioned him earlier in the podcast. He ended up finishing 4th in that race. And yet again, Brendan Gaughan at top 5. It seems like Road America must be his track. But at number one, guys, I have to go with this. I feel like it's the clear number one spot was the one in 2012. 2012. No, it wasn't 2012. Y'all probably got to edit that out. I'm so sorry. I got my years mixed up so bad there. 2011. It was 2011. Okay. So at number one, I have Reed Sorensen winning his first career Xfinity win in a pretty controversial finish. So roll the clip.
Looking forward to the
win it.
Justin gets a good restart.
Good job. Reed Sorensen to the inside of Fellows. Sorensen in the yellow car. That's for now second. He's going to squeeze by Elliott Sadler in the two to the inside of Fellows. Leffler's right behind him. Fellows looking back for second on Sorensen. No contact there. Sadler and Fellows. McDowell. Here they go again. Almirola. That car's in the gravel trap. And it's not coming out.
Turn 6 right there. Real slick portion of the racetrack. Fellows doing all they can to hold on. There goes Brian Scott around. He's stuck back there. We're racing back to the checker now.
Elliott Sadler jostled around a little bit. Fellows through to third. Here comes Villeneuve back in that 22 on Jason Leffler. Do they have enough fuel?
Well, I can't believe both of them are going to run out, but
they got one more. They're coming to the white, which would make 4 miles to go.
4 miles to come back around, even if the caution comes out.
Jimmy's stomach still hasn't settled, I promise you.
Jimmy Ellitt's the crew chief. Here he comes to the white flag. Yellow is not out yet. Justin Allgaier has started the last lap of this race. Caution. There is
now
the caution flag.
This might do it for Allgaier.
Got it off and
He's got to make it back.
Got it off. We just won this race. You guys are freaking awesome.
Shut it off and coast.
I think Justin did his part too.
4, I'm coasting.
Did a good job, man.
NASCAR reminding the teams over its race control radio, you have to maintain.
This is under caution. Caution flag speed is 45 miles an hour.
Sorensen's gone.
Yes, he is.
He was running second. He must have run out of fuel. There he is back.
He's maintaining speed. I don't know.
Elliott Sadler, look at him. Unless he's just getting back in line.
Uh-oh, looks like 31 might be out.
Is he?
Yep.
Is he?
He's out.
Oh, my goodness.
That's awful. Man.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Justin Allgaier's out of fuel. Oh.
Started. Send it over.
Well, he's going too fast.
Fellows is going too fast right here.
Yeah,
they shouldn't be allowing that.
I don't know what Fellows is doing.
So now Ron Fellows has to have enough fuel to stay behind the pace car at pace speed. NASCAR is saying Ron Fellows is the leader of this race in the 7. He's got to make it up the hill to the finish line. So they're going to come to the checkered flag with Reed Sorensen alongside Ron Fellows, but it is going to be Fellows in the 7 at the yellow and checkered who will win what can only be described as a bizarre finish at Road America.
Did pass. There's the caution out. See the flag on the left.
See the waving the caution.
Let's watch around now. Can't pass under caution.
And Ron Fellows hadn't even lifted. He's still running wide open. He's wide open. Caution flag is out.
See Brian Scott right there, upset with Jacques Villeneuve there.
Yeah, he's not happy about that move. Somebody else not happy, Max Pappas.
Remember those two involved in the incident on the first green white checker restart that resulted in that 33 in the wall down in turn 1. NASCAR has made the call for Reed Sorensen to go to victory lane.
He still has enough fuel for a nice burnout.
Well, Ron Fellows is not in victory lane. Instead, he's at pit exit. Justin Allgaier disappointed. Michael McDowell disappointed. There's a lot of disappointed drivers.
This is a tough one.
Ron Fellows walking away. Obviously not very happy.
In 2011, this was one of the craziest finishes, in my opinion, in the Xfinity Series. Basically, at the end, Michael McDowell was ahead. He ended up running out of gas. Justin Allgaier was in the lead. It looked like Justin Allgaier was going to get his first win of the season, and he ended up running out of gas on the final lap under caution. And Ron Fellows was actually second, if I'm correct, or third. He ended up passing the pace car, which you can't do under caution. He passed the pace car and goes like 100 miles per hour. So he gets penalized. And the guy in third was Reed Sorensen, or second. It was one of those, so y'all could see it in the video. Reed Sorensen was given the win because of that. I felt like it was pretty controversial, but it was pretty entertaining. So that's my top 10 for the week. There wasn't a whole lot of moments at Road America, but I hope y'all enjoyed this list.
Yeah, very good list here.
Yep.
So now let's get into our picks for this weekend's races. We got the trucks going to Knoxville and the Xfinity and Cup Series going to Road America. So starting out with the truck race at Knoxville, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go with a safe option. I'm going to say Matt Crafton. But, Cam, you're probably going to call me a simp for this, but I'm not trying to be a simp. I'm just using common sense. I feel like Haley Deegan could do really well here.
We can't go an episode without Haley Deegan, man. All right, listen, if you guys don't know, I've been calling these boys out lately.
Without Haley Deegan.
All right, this is really annoying. All right, because listen, we were on a good streak, guys, and you just had to ruin it. You just had to ruin it, Mike. Thank you. I just appreciate it. I'm going Matt Crafton too, by the way. Gosh darn it.
Can I say why I think Haley Deegan will do well or no?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Okay. She finished second there in the XRX race against Tony Stewart. She has a dirt background, like what we were talking about in our Bristol Dirt episode. Even though she finished in the top 15 there, I could see her doing relatively well in this Knoxville race. We'll see what happens. Matt Crafton's my main pick.
I have to agree with Michael on some of his takes here. I mean, Knoxville Raceway is a dirt track. They're racing 150 laps Friday for the truck series there. I actually did a Dirt Vision race. One of my jobs, Dirt Vision. Yeah, I actually covered a race there a couple weeks ago, and then SRX was there that same weekend, which Haley Deegan ended up finishing second in that race. Now, I don't have an entry list, so I don't know who's all going to be in this race. So it's hard for me to choose who's going to win this. Honestly, do not know, but I'm going to go with Sheldon Creed.
Okay. So now for the Xfinity Series at Road America. This is between two people for me. I think I'm going to go ahead and do something a little different. I'm going to say Austin Cindric.
For me, I'm going Allgaier.
Whoa. All right.
I know you're gonna say, but I think we all know how Allgaier is, though. Once he's on a hot streak, he kind of keeps it rolling. So I think he's gonna get it.
I agree with Cam. Now Allgaier has won at Road America before, and he's came in the top 5 multiple times. So I'm actually going with Allgaier as well. I think he's won at Mid Ohio. He's won on these road courses. I think Justin Allgaier can win this race.
And finally, for the big race, the Cup race on July 4th. This is going to be awesome. Hopefully it's a great race for America. So I think I'm going to go ahead and say Chase Elliott. I mean, I feel like that's the most simple pick. But I feel like Austin Cindric and AJ Allmendinger are going to do really well. So expect to see them near the front a lot as they do for usual road course races. But I just went with Chase Elliott for simplicity reasons.
I'm going Truex.
Okay.
I'm going Truex Jr. I mean, he's just, he's shown me that he can also be a road course king. And, I think that he has the talent to do it. You know, if anybody can give Chase Elliott a run for his money at a road course, it's definitely Martin Truex Jr.
I feel like experience would be a factor in this race. I mean, Mike had a great pick there with Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott, of course, really good road courses. To me, there's some guys that I'd be like, choosing if I had a fantasy lineup. I'd have William Byron on there for this race. He's done really well in the Xfinity Series there. I would have Michael McDowell maybe as like a sleeper pick. I feel like Ryan Blaney maybe could surprise people in this race as well, because Blaney's had some experience in the Xfinity Series and came close a couple times. So for me, I'm actually going to go with William Byron. Now, he has won on a road course, the Daytona road course, and I feel like Byron's experience will help him out here in this race. I think there'll be a good bit of action, and I hope that it'll put on a great show. I've been hoping that NASCAR would come, the Cup Series would come to this race, to this track, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like it's a track that they should have put on the schedule a couple of years ago. I've been saying it man, they really need to go to Road America, and I'm very happy they are. So I hope it's going to be a good race, and I think it will be. So that's my pick.
So speaking of fantasy lineups here's my fantasy lineup that no one asked for. Comment down below if you want me to start saying my fantasy lineup every race. So
if you've made it this far, put in the comments who asked Mike.
Okay. All right. So I got number 1, Chase Elliott, Michael McDowell, Christopher Bell, Ross Chastain, Austin Cindric, AJ Allmendinger. My bonus picks are Chase Elliott winning, Chase Elliott top Chevy, Michael McDowell top Ford, and Christopher Bell top Toyota. And with that will conclude this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. And remember what Cam said. Make sure you guys comment if you made it to the end of the video. Make sure you guys comment who the hell asked Mike. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys get us to 100 subscribers. That'll be our first milestone. Share our channel with any of your friends who love NASCAR, any of your family who loves NASCAR, anybody you know who loves NASCAR, share it with us. And we will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.